Right, so if the student is not doing well, who should blame?
Market lah. For different hospital, like if you go, I think this one cannot have to be censored for the name.
It means that some people cannot use AI, and that will produce a good influencer.
Depends. That really depends. That,
You anti one eh? You must say yes, agree ma. 有冇先教one啊？
Let me tell you the main things.
you just don't have to believe in it. Not me, not Chen Jian, not whoever it is, even not. The thing.
Hi guys, welcome back to Money Hot Seat. So today's topic is pretty exciting, right? Financial influencers aren't creating investor; they are actually creating confidence losers, right? So before we start, let me introduce our guest for this episode, right? The first one we have Debo, which is a research analyst in Grandma Capital. Right, I think we have been with our episode
third episode.
all the time, right? So the next one will be JQ. So he studied economics with hands-on experience in finance and also real investing. And next we have social entrepreneurs, Ken. They have been running and building multiple business in the past 20 years. And today I will be your host and also your guest as well, right? So I will get double pay, right? Okay. So before we start, right, do you want to have a little bit of conversations on what do you guys actually think of this financial influencers think in the market first before we go into the firing sessions? Should we?
Yeah.
So who want to volunteer first?
We let JQ to be the first one, the youngest in the
Okay,
team.
the youngest in the team, all right?
Yeah.
So are you on the anti or you are on the one that agree that influencer is actually making positive impact to the investor?
I do believe that in the recent years, there are quite a lot of new influencers that have been making very big positive impacts on the current society.
What about you, Ken?
Yeah, I do agree that Finfluencer, I mean like financial influencer, definitely create the impact to the market, especially for the past so many years in the market. Not everyone interested into this investment, especially to the stock market. And then because of all this kind of influencer, they are generating something new to the market and make people like, you really get a way to earn extra money for yourself.
Oh, yeah, Debo. I think we are on the anti-gang, right?
Yeah. Okay. So apparently it's a bit of a conflict of interest. Yeah, I'm the one that doing this, but I'm somehow gonna be against him. But I would say, yes, they do have their pro and cons. They do bring a lot of economy effect towards the ones that is not investor, and as well as the ones that is trying to teach them to be investors. But as I see in the market right now at the moment, there's still a lot of bad effect as well that we can discuss about.
True.
So what do you guys think about influencers? Are they actually making positive or negative impact to the society? Let us know on the comment box below, all right? So now, let us start our Money Hot Seat for episode number 3, okay? Let's grill. So, my first question is, right, to all of us, right? So, if influencers really that great, right, then why are there still investor that is losing money at the very first place? Right, so who want to go first?
Okay,
Can
let
go
me put
first.
it in a way like, I should say that maybe these people, they are making losses, they don't really follow us. I mean, they are using their own method to think about themselves that I'm really great enough to trade myself. I think that's the first place we should know, not so many influencers.
Okay.
Which one they choose and start from which perspective they get into, tap into the market, look at the place.
So, if the student is not doing well, so who should be the responsible? Because he is teaching, because he's following the Sifu, right? So if the student is not doing well, so who should we blame?
Market lah.
I mean, true in a sense of market is always up and down, right? So wouldn't be the teacher or the coach should tell the students, this is the whole thing. You can't. There's no guarantee, right? In
true.
the market, right?
Yep.
So yeah, I mean, if you have a bad marks in your SPM or whatever degree, so who should you blame?
I mean, in the case of SPM, I feel very different.
In what sense?
Because that one is the student's fault. Confirm Ponteng class.
Why?
Then you fail.
But if I already join your class, I do all your homework.
Then I think that one, I'm pretty sure he will be passing. But I feel like when we're talking about influencers, it's very different because just like in school, maybe we have a very broad range of quality of teachers out there. And I would say why I support and I believe that all these influencers are putting a positive impact on the students is they're educating all these people that previously had no access to these educations. Especially because in the past, the barrier of entry is very high. We will be saying and talking something like we have to get a degree in finance, or we have to specifically go and learn about this topic. And in that sense, it's very expensive, and not everyone is able to afford that. So I'll say it really depends, on the teacher or so-called finfluencer that we're talking about that impacts so-called students.
You, Debo.
I gotta agree with JQ's point. Being said, this influencer economy, it does bring out the pros of bringing more investors together and then to spread out the information is much more easier than the past. So like to give a realistic example in the sense that in the past, people that they look at a company and they might not even have any idea where to find this annual report. Now with this social medias and everything and also influencers to help them analyze and also to give them a better idea on the company's doing, this is not actually just being able to find out the annual report, but also to dissect what the annual report is doing right at the moment. But I gotta say that because the reason why I'm still standing against this point of view is in the sense that we gotta understand the definition of influencer. In the sense that if we talk about influencers in the sense of teaching students to get better and to be a better investors, then why should we say that when they are doing bad and the reason of it is because they didn't follow us? So that is a big part of the conflict in the sense that influencers nowadays, they have a big problem in the sense that their revenue is based on the students following them or even to buy their products. But being said, if that's the case and I should follow you, then only I can really make a good returns from my investment, then this is not a students and teacher kind of a relationship anymore. It's more like that definition itself, influencer, using influence to instill you to buy and sell to make your own decisions. So if I would say that you to make your own decision, and you make a wrong one, so yeah, we can blame the market easily. But if I were to say I make a wrong decision, but based on because I didn't follow your strategy, I will still blame the influencer.
Okay.
So I see the market right now at the moment still having much more in this sense as compared to an independent kind of education wise.
To give Debo a little bit more support, right? So yes, I mean you mentioned that previously it's much more expensive, right, to get access to all these investment thing, right? But there are courses that is much more expensive than a full 4 years degree about investment, right? And talks about to shorten the period of learning, right? Because we joined like these influencers, you get my class for three months or whatnot, right? Yes, I mean the 3 months is just to learn maybe some of the basic, but the practical thing, right, is still needs years of experience, right? So when we think about it, right, after you buy maybe a 50,000 class course from this whatever Sifu, but the practice, the trainings, the practical, the hard work, it needs years of practice as well. So at the end of the day, right, whatever that you learned is still, you need to spend nothing less than if you acquire a proper degree in university. And also in university, right, you get to have a broader perspective about macro, micro, finance, everything. So in this sense, I do not, to be very honest, I'm not anti-influencers, but they are good influencers to be very honest, right? But there are not much influencers that really want to teach you the thing. I mean, if they really want to teach you, they will not tell you just a very small part of whatever stocks or investment, right? They should give you a broader perspective of how things work to shape so that you can be a better investor. Right. So, Ken, I think that you have a lot of things you want to say live.
Okay, let me clarify this. As a influencer, most of the time they have their own channel like social media to share about investment. So that is the first part. So it's about the broad knowledge for you to know. But the second part is for you to, whether you wanted to join the classes or not. That's the second part. So most of the people, they might feel that once I get to know the first part, then definitely I go in all in for my investment. They are using this like somehow like a gambling mentality, saying that I go in once and I'll get my money back. That's the first part. Generated the first part of those losers in the market for investment. I think this shouldn't be blamed to the influencer, the influencer part. If let's say put in the second situation that they are joining the class but they didn't make money, so definitely from the market is the first things. Then the second thing is somehow this really needs practice. Okay, this experience to justify, even though everything like what we learn from the books, from textbook, everything like we study in the school, after you learn everything, but the school also cannot justify and confirm everyone can get number one in the class. It's same as mathematics. There's a formula. 1 plus 1 equals 2, the simplest one. But when it comes to other kinds of formula, this one square or whatever thing is it, at the end of the day, some people 100 marks, some people 90 marks. It depends on, it's about personal, our method of learning. Yeah. Because some people, they might learn from, you just read from everything from book, then they understand everything. But some people, they need to hands-on. That means they realize the real method investment. So this is my personal point of view. It's not about the Finfluencer, but it's about self-learning part.
Yeah, sure. But the parts that the Finfluencer right now doing are not doing that right. In the sense that they are using, like if you talk about the first part and the second part, they put out the first part being said it's super easy to go for investing and trading, and then you can just 100% buy a week or something. So people will just get attracted to it, and then they will spend everything. They will put out everything into one investment and then try. If it get loud, then perhaps they believe in it. Then they go to the second part. Then the second part again, because in order to make this business easier and also much easy to scale, so what we do is also we make methodology to be as simple as possible. So now that is kind of like a big problem in the sense that you are making some complex concepts and also calculation to be easy, and they are learning the half of it and go into the market to work. So with that being said, they will still find things. Sometimes maybe it works, maybe sometimes it's not working, but then they will face the problem in the sense that then they will make the losses and they'll still come back and blame on you. And I'll still say the blame is still on the influencer.
So, okay, JQ first, before I shoot you.
Don't you want?
Yeah, I do agree that Finfluencers, there are two distinct. I think what we can agree on is that there are two distinct types of Finfluencers. Those that really want to give knowledge, and those that are, I think, increasingly saturating the market. Are people who are trying to make money instead of providing knowledge. They're trying to make money. So I feel like that attitude is very different, and that sometimes we can say we're like poisoning the pool. And I think the biggest problem with this nowadays is that as a newcomer in the industry and someone who's looking to learn more about investing through financial influencers, maybe they might be attracted to marketing because that's so important these days.
So they want to sit over here already? Same gang. Same gang already, ma.
What I can say is that I'm talking about that marketing. But what I'm saying is that those are not true influencers. Those are people trying to make a quick buck. So I think the more important thing is that influencers are making positive impacts. From what we can see, he's educating people that in the past wouldn't even know anything about saving, inflation, about where should I put my money to fight this inflation. And because of that, I feel like there is so much positive to get out of all these influencers. It's just that the pool is poisoned by all these so-called, I'll say fake influencers.
So
before you should let me add on. Yeah, that's what I mean. In the market, there's definitions of influencer and KOL, key opinion leader. Because for Finfluencer, it's like just a beginning part. If let's say, because there's no, what we call that, the rules of the games in the market, to justify who are those really as the key opinion leader, to make investment as something that we recognize these people in the market. That's why I believe recently from Malaysia government, they have these rules and they act to support for those really coming out to teach what is investment to the public. That should be the first step from Malaysian government to support Finfluencer. So like what JQ mentioned just now, definitely some people, they are coming here to slash the big portion of the market to get some money. They're doing all those kinds of marketing things. So we couldn't define them as the, what we call it, the financial influencer. They are actually marketer. Okay, they come to slash the money and just run from the market, you see. But put it the other way, if really those people are financial influencer, the Finfluencer, definitely they are putting in their effort, come up with their knowledge and information to guide their students, even as a fans, as a follower. They'll guide step by step and the good way for them to investment. Yeah, that's my point of view to add on.
Okay.
You may start now.
All right. So, I mean, first of all, welcome to the world of virality, right? So, if your content is no one gonna watch, right, then you will not be able to deliver the message, right? And if no one watch, then you will not get popular, So, content, right, is based on what the target audience or the 韭菜 that they want to, charge them on, and not what they actually really need to know. If they really tell you what you need to know about investing, company, whatever, no one is going to watch. So if no one is going to watch, then how are they going to have so much of followers that they are able to charge them for high fees of classes, of courses? If they cannot do that, then they are also cannot make money for their own. If they cannot make money for their own, then they cannot make a living, right?
Yep.
So in this so-called social media kind of era, right, influencers, they also have to know how to create content. If not, then no one's going to watch their videos.
Yep.
So my question over here is that those content they created by these influencers, is it actually really what the investor need to know compared to what they want the target audience to see because that is their interest? So as we know, thing that's not good, people love a lot. Fried chicken lah, fry whatever things, right? But those are shitty things, right? But everyone love it. But those really good one, just same as content. Content that's really in depth, normally people don't like. Too lengthy lah, right? So are these influencers actually giving out the things that investors really need to know at the very first place? I mean, that's my questions.
I agree with the view. What I can say is still the point that when you're talking about showing people what they want to see, what I can say is that I have seen a lot of financial influencers. I've seen a lot of their works, and I can tell you that there are amazing people out there who are really sharing, information that people should be knowing, and they still get a lot of views. I think the main problem is the oversaturation of the market and the competitiveness of the market that makes all these newcomers or like people who are smaller in size try to reach into how do I grow fast. So I think it's about the greed in this influencer sphere that is creating all this toxicity and all these this pool of poison that it's out there. But I believe that there's still very good knowledge and people who are producing knowledge for others for a good purpose, and all these people are still getting views because YouTube is supporting all of these. As I'm not sure if you guys know, but we call it the CPM, which is the profit per 1,000 views.
Click per mouse.
For financial wise, the channels, they're actually getting way higher profit margins in terms of the ad revenue because they're talking about something that is important. So I feel like it's important to understand that it's not that everyone is trying to fight for these things. I think the main problem is that how do we find a way to lead all these people to the right sources? Like Ken says, maybe the Malaysian government is supporting it. Like the recent changes to our Securities Commission talking about financial advisors on the internet and advertising in general.
Yep. Yeah. Exactly.
It's so comprehensive. I have nothing to add on, but I support your statement.
I think right now at the moment, if regarding on the questions, right, it's more important to look at how the market is reacting to the views and also the demands. In the sense that actually influencers, if you want to look at it at the direct point, they started to be the mainstream kind of a social media probably around 2020. So that is the time that all of us will just stay at home. So that's why we have nothing to consume for entertainment. So from there, we can just use social media and then do a lot of things. And of course, easier to say is that you stay at home and then you use social media and you still can get more capital and growth and return, right? So why not? People then spend on it. But I would say along the years, right, this influencer at the very least, as I would say, it's getting more and more better. It's getting more improvement in the sense that at the very least, some of the good influencers, they have their content at the right place, and then they are getting more and more attention as they should be. So in another word is that if we really want to support all these influencer, I would suggest as a viewer yourself, you should really get yourself a set of KPIs when you want to follow some of the influencer. It's not just about views, and it's not just about easy to learn or maybe make fast money. It's more about like how can you get the thorough, comprehensive knowledge from the people that really have this idea and genuinely really want to teach you on, and also to find all these influencers that try to spread on the information in the right place. So that would be my support view for this influencer assistance.
I do agree on what you mentioned just now. Come up with a list, to checklist to choose which is just not only follow the high followers, then you should follow them. But add on like this, definitely government is doing all these things from time to time, more specific requirement for those influencers, especially into this specific topic in the market, which might relate to all this money. So So the requirement for the Finfluencer, what they should do, definitely is coming time by time. I believe it's not so fast because it's going to have our election soon. So after election, we can see something new. Okay, but the changes is there. Definitely the changes is there. And I do agree on what Tipo mentioned just now. Everything from Malaysia changed to online since the pandemic, since 2020. That's the reason people are taking up into this investment market because they have nothing to do at home. Yeah, that's the reason they come into this investment. But after a few years, ups and downs, they thought it's still like 2020. They just buy the glove stock, they earn the money, then suddenly the money disappear in the market. Okay, I mean, that's my point of view. I do believe that Finfluencer is growing nowadays, and under the enforcement of the act in Malaysian government, definitely some of the account or some of the Finfluencer, they are disappeared from the market, and they're reducing their marketing or ads that people not easily to get them, tap into their previous followers or fans, something like that. Yeah, I think this is the good steps to make the changes in the entire industry for Finfluencer. So I still believe that Finfluencer is actually very important in the market that attract more people, especially youngsters nowadays. They don't really understand about investment. And especially for those like their family, fathers, grandfathers, they have the bad experience, like the father losses 500,000, 300,000, or they're making losses, big losses from the Malaysia stock market.
All right, next questions. Right, so if the Finfluencers is really that great in investment or whatever they're doing, right? So why they still want to charge us money, to buy their courses since they are already that rich? You get what I mean? Yeah. What I mean? You're right. So they are rich, then why you want to just get free? You say you're so king, right? Then why you still want to charge me 10,000 just to learn from you?
For me, it's human nature. Because first things, human, we always have wants, and that's not to. I wouldn't say that's to say that they're bad. There's nothing. I feel like there's nothing wrong with charging money. Why? Because there's already a lot of them are charging significantly less than if you were to go to your own like a professional financial advisor. And a lot of them sometimes are also certified financial advisors out there that are making their own YouTube channels and giving financial advice. And sometimes they are professional, so they're charging you, which is a normal thing to do as a professional. If not, then everyone don't need to eat lah. I just give only. You
invest got money already, ma. Eat what?
Like I say lah, people also still have wants.
Yeah, I think the step. Add on to what JQ mentioned. It's just exactly same as how doctor, lawyer, and engineer make money. These are, this is not the cost fees. This is as the professional fees. So for them, for the Finfluencer, to share you about their skills. Just like, the doctor, everything, they're doing the same things every day, but they still charge very expensive for different hospital. Like if you go and or in this, I think this one cannot have to be censored for the name. The price is different for different hospital, but they are doing the same things. Even the medicine, they're giving the same Panadol. You can get it from 7-Eleven, but they're still charging you 80 bucks just for 4 or 6 pills they're giving to you. So this is actually considered as a professional's fees being charged to guide and teach you on how you go for this professional investment. Or in the other way, it's like you are paying 80,000, 60,000 for a degree to graduate, become somebody one day. This is the path. So for us, like Finfluencer charging, although I can make money, same as doctor, they are making money as well. So we are charging because of what we have paid before as a professional person today. Yeah, that's my point of view.
Okay. Well, on this question, I'm a bit neutral, to be honest. The thing is, being said, I'm in this kind of a business field for almost like 3 years, 4 years wise. I've been asked this kind of questions a lot of times. So my easy answers to it, it's pretty simple. It's like, imagine yourself as the hawker fellas that know how to cut chicken rice. So if I know how to cut chicken rice, takkan I just don't go and sell chicken rice, right? So typically in the sense that I know how to cook, and then you ask me the question back then, hey bro, you know how to cook, why you should want to come out and cook? So the reason of it, I think it's quite funny, is because the question, people will come up with this question is because they have a conflict being said, if I'm teaching people to make more money, then shouldn't I make more money myself? Then becomes, I don't have to teach anything, I don't have to just receive the fee. Now that's, if you change that money to become chicken rice, then you don't have this conflict. So you can just say that the hawker fellas just want to cut for chicken rice and then sell, and that's all, it's legit. So the question is in the sense that it's not about why you should charge money since you know how to make money. I guess if we want to be specific on it, is that why you should charge so much when you know how to make money yourself. So this is the question that I would say it's more realistic in the sense that out there, influencer, there are a lot of people that charge much ridiculous prices. In the sense that, yes, I get it, like it's a professional fee. But how do you define professional then? So you went to hospital and then you try to get treatment, you pay for 10,000, but you get better. You get healthy again. So you see the progress. But being said, when you go for investment, I pay so much of fee. Would I get rich by 2 years? Would I get rich by 3 years? How do you define that? So that is the biggest question that I would say a lot of influencers, they didn't understand, and then they just base on the market itself and then just charge on it.
Yep.
Now, of course, I do see a lot of influencers that is charging a reasonable fees that give us really good research and also give us really good content for a rather affordable price. And that is good. That is all right because I'm willing to give up the professional fees. Just that, like, for a cost of 15,000,
Yeah, and
would I make like 200% in a week? So that is just ridiculous to me.
to add on Gibo, right?
Gibo.
So most of the influencers, they do not actually make money from their investment, right? I mean, on their channel. Most of them, they make their most money is from what? Sponsorships, affiliates, maybe bank, I have come out with a new product, this is what I want you to push it to the markets, right?
Yep.
So in order for a influencer to do this, they need to have a pretty big audience,
Yep.
right? And then their will have to be high enough to tap into the general publics, right?
Yep.
So that they can charge 50,000 from a bank, right? So in this sense, right? So those influencers, they will actually focus their content in the term of to create things that the audience want to watch, and it's not what they really want the audience to know in the sense of how things works, right? So in this sense, right? So the influencers, are they actually giving valuable informations that able to shape the financial future of Malaysians, right? So this is first questions. Second questions, back to your doctor and lawyer. Yes, because they study 6 years or more, right? And pay 100 over 1,000 to get their whatever degree. But these influencers, they might watch YouTube and then they reproduce the content, just that they know their
Yep.
contents, this public want to watch, create the content, and then they
Yep.
just go. So my another question is that how are you going to identify which influencer is really got liu and those that is just, just come here to get your money,
Yep.
right?
Yeah, let me add on more questions to that.
Oh, no. Okay, so that you guys can have.
So many
if,
questions.
if we want to put up this question, we want to extend it, right? Then perhaps let's put out an idea of the current era and the current developments. So we are saying that influencer, they might produce some really professional content and then you charge high fee for it. Now, what I would like to say next is that since we have AI all the way, okay, for the next probably like forever.
50 years, 100
So
years, yeah.
the benchmark of AI, ChatGPT is probably like monthly just 100 ringgit. And I can get any book in the market, any strategy, I'll just
Summarize
paste
it.
into AI and then he will just generate out all the strategy that I have to know. So my question then is, with that kind of benchmark pricing, 100 ringgit per month, and I can get so much of professional view, why charging 10,000, few thousands for courses then?
Yeah,
Yeah, I think I'll start.
sure.
Let's start with the cost. Why I believe it would be so high these days. I believe it all goes back to the pandemic.
Okay.
During the pandemic, when everything collapsed, like there was a dip, and that's when all the financial influencers started popping up.
Yes.
Right, and that was perfect timing to brew up a storm. Why? Because during that period of time, you can throw your money in anything and you'll just make money. It's not because of their skill; it's because the market was at the right timing.
Yep.
So what happened is that over the past 3 years or 4 years, we've continuously just saw the market just kept going, right? It just kept going up. So everyone that followed the financial influencers will be like, wow, I'm making so much,
Yep.
like why are they're so good, they're so amazing. And I believe this hype and all this perfect market situation is what created this
High
perfect
prices.
storm to
Yep.
brew up all of these financial influencers to start charging so
Yes.
much money because they can show, my portfolio.
Good results.
I show you
Yep.
my testimonies. They're making so much money.
Yep.
Let's say if you're making $1 million, what is 50,000, right? It's nothing. In 3 years, that's nothing. So I believe what is going to happen is that going on forwards, we will start seeing a lot of market fluctuations as we can see, nowadays, with the tech stocks and everything. We have seen a recent dip. So what is going to happen is, I believe that all these people who are less on the part of having that knowledge, like they have said about, like, I'm just copy pasting.
Yep.
I don't think they'll survive the long term. So eventually the market is going to be like, oop, I'm going to, cut you down. And people are starting to realize.
Yes.
And people are starting to get more educated,
Yes.
I'll say. Because especially with so much information going around.
Yes.
And they're going to start learning more about these. And I'm sorry to say, but there are going to be sacrifices along the way. And I believe that's almost all markets. That's what happens. You have a boom and you have so many, startups and companies. And eventually, you're going to end up with just a few solid ones. So I think it really is a test of time, whether this is going to be something that, persists, or, like I believe, is something that is going to really test all these influencers and see whether they're relevant or not.
I do agree with what JQ mentioned, and part of the question from people, the AI is coming up. They are going to, everyone can pay like $100 just to get the advisory from the Finfluencer. Yes, you are right.
Much better than professionals.
Yes, this is the trend now. That not only into this financial influencer that being affected, I think for the entire market, even into this marketing, for content writing, video editing, designer, I think everyone is being affected. But one thing, for this Finfluencer, tap into this, investment part. Financial influencer, from time to time, they are changing price from what you call it, the 15,000, 50,000 or whatever, a big sum of money charged to all their students. And then they're changing to the other way, like hands-on investment planning, guiding them how to do the investment. So this will be different from the code AI. Reply them with all kinds of wordings and they have to read through everything by themselves. Exactly the same like what you can download all these financial reports and then post it into the ChatGPT and then they can come out the financial result to you. But still, according to this entire financial report, they might not really get you to do whether this can be invest or not. Just like the latest news happened, I'm not sure this one have to censor or not. The company IPO in Nasdaq, then suddenly within the few weeks, they are shooting down ridiculous. Look at the situation that we didn't know. Look at the business model from the market. Everyone is asking the same questions. Is this company really can IPO? And then it's really in US and in Nasdaq. And after that, suddenly shooting down. So this is not about Finfluencer. It's about the original, the core things is from the business model. So I think we have to look into the entire things. AI not only affected to Finfluencer itself, but the entire market. And then investment is not about whatever the Finfluencers say. It's about the business model, the business structures, and what they actually want to play in the market. Because this is step into the primary market, then it come to the secondary market to us. That's my point of view.
Okay. So I will give a question first.
Yeah.
Then okay.
Anything.
Okay.
Seems like we are.
But I think I agree on them as well. But I just want to add on. Being a research analyst myself, I would say influencer, they do play their role in this particular era for AI or whatsoever. And I would say the most important thing, then perhaps for our viewers out there as well, it's to learn about critical thinking. Like for example, the AI, it's important to know that they will help you to build up all this financial analysis and everything, but they can't really much predict the share price itself anyway. At the end of the day, stock market itself is still a emotional tools, and then it will goes up and goes down by demand and supply. With that being said, being a rational investor yourself, it's important for us to learn our own critical thinking and also to have our own sense of the strategy that we're implementing. So the only thing that I hope is that for the influencer out there, or for us as well, in the same kind of a context, is that we always foster for critical thinking practice. So then our investors or our students were able to make better investments in the coming year.
It's correct, right? So my questions, back to you guys, is about the AI, right? So based on whatever that you guys mentioned over here, right, the markets, will push out or will eliminate, right, those fake influencers that use AI. Right, sort of that, right? So does this mean that you guys think human will be much more smarter than AI, right? So will human able to analyze 10,000 data points from the markets, or does human have the capabilities to analyze billions of informations about the market sentiments? Because you say that those AI those influencers that using AI will get eliminated soon. But this also means that because I'm using AI, right, so I must be much more smarter than for those that does not actually use AI, right? Because AI is able to analyze, so much of data point in Snap, right? So that means that, yeah.
Very simply say is that if what you say is that if AI is what gives a human the ability to surpass humans in general, then why hasn't there been millions of millionaires suddenly? You understand? Why hasn't AI been able to crack the code of all this trading for all these we say retail investors? If AI is that amazing, because what I can say is that AI is a tool. It's an amazing tool that really helps accelerate human thinking. It doesn't particularly make someone smarter because that's the AI thinking for you. Smart people will always be smart. And then AI is not something that suddenly, is something that attaches to your brain and then makes your brain smart.
So it means that dumb people cannot use AI. Yeah?
No, they can.
Oh, okay.
They should use.
They should use. No. Joking wise.
Okay, just
But yeah, so that's the case with AI. What I'm saying is that AI is a tool. When you say about analyzing these billions of points, there's a reason why we created AI. It's because for this reason. It's because our humans are not able to, compute all these data points fast enough. But we're super good at thinking and reasoning. So we're using AI to assist us in doing all these mundane tasks that will take us years to do, accelerate it into maybe just a couple hours. And that's the power that we have of AI.
Yeah. So Finfluencers should use AI.
Definitely.
I mean, I believe everyone should be
Everyone
using.
should use.
And that will produce a good Finfluencer.
Depends.
That really depends.
Hey, you anti one eh? Saya, you must say yes, agree ma.
Oh, yeah. But I'm empty, yeah. So that's why I said it depends, right?
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
betul juga.
Yeah, I say depends.
So yeah, I do agree that it really depends because, like I say, AI is a tool. It's not the creator.
Yep.
Right. AI is not the one creating.
So it depends on.
It still depends on the
intention.
human. The intention. The intention starts with the human, not with the AI. The AI just does what the human wants.
If my intention is to say I want to attract 1,000 students within a month, so then yeah, I'm a bad influencer then. If my intention is to analyze company stocks for my students and hopefully to guide them in the right way, yeah, perhaps I'm a good student then. I'm a good influencer then.
True. I do agree on that. I mean, AI is just to accelerate what they are doing.
Yeah.
And because we think for the entire big structure, from a big picture, looking at the eager view to look into the entire things, then AI is to make all the things into details for us and summarize for us for easier reference.
Yep. And I would say perhaps rather important for influencer nowadays to implement AI into their teaching. Being said, I would say that because of AI, it kind of changed how we really do our job as an analyst. And for that being said, moving forward, you have to be more and more efficient and in order to compete in the market. And for retail investor instead, then you have to be even more knowledgeable so that you don't really make a wrong decisions. So the ways that we use AI, it's rather important than just teaching out this strategy or this execution wise to find data, financial analysis or what. It's more important to utilize AI and to the best interest of making our own investments. So that would be the best one if a lot of influencers, they can implement this in the market.
So next questions, right? Assuming you guys are the most 正义one, the most real influencers that we want to give, real contact or content to the audience, right? So you have two options. The first one, you are going to produce a content about business model, but only have 10 views. Next, right? How to use AI to make money fast, but that video will gain you 10 million views. Which one do you guys choose and why?
For me, I'll be choosing as the business model.
Let me tell you
the main things. Because if as a influencer or business model, this is not the core income for ourselves actually. The thing we started with this influencer to sharing about things is to educate the market, to viral in the market, to let them know that what we can do and guide them. So the main money we are earning from is actually from the business model part, tap into the big market money. Most of the influencer, they are not really focused on this. I mean the real influencer. For those who need tap in the market just to chop, slash the money from the market, something like that, then definitely they are depending on this market to earn their money. So definitely the high flowers, using AI to earn the money, definitely there are methods. No, there's no right or wrong. but I would choose for the business model part because my money is earned from the business model side. And this is to educate market about investment and how they should do and choose the right way for investment. Yeah, that would be my choices. Yeah,
Sure.
that's why it's quite slow.
Sure,
now.
it's
You
a
see-
single.
That's why you can see the result is very slow now. It's exactly what's happening now, right?
Oh, JQ.
I like to say that I feel like this is not comparing apples to oranges. One thing, because in a way we can say that we don't know. Are you sure that is gonna get 10 million views?
I mean,
are you sure?
given in a situations, right?
Giving it a situation, if you were to place these two options in front of me, of course, in a marketing sense, anything with AI will produce more views these days because that's the trend.
Exactly.
So I think the more important question is how do we use this as a strategy to try to reach out more? Like I say, Thibaut said, it's about the intention. It's not about just AI itself. But if I use AI with a good intention, I will also be able to reach out to people. Maybe less than I'll make you a millionaire in like 3 days with AI.
Yep.
But we can also voice it differently. Maybe you say, how do we use AI to analyze a business more accurately? And then in that sense, maybe I'll just get like a few less views. If we market it properly, we might be able to get also millions of views. It really all depends on how you use the AI. It's not just that AI is gonna explode. Like you understand? I'm pretty sure there are a lot of videos out there that have use AI for this and that, and only also get a few views.
Yep. I think for me is I would rather change the context. Like, I will choose on the business model, but I will change it into how do we use AI to analyze the business model. And of course, I will put up a different KPIs on that. Rather than looking at the views, I will look at more on the sense that with this analysis, what kind of the outcomes it will come back to us. So will our business model analysis comes to be true in the market for maybe like a year time, or maybe it will never happens. So if it never happens, then that means I'm making a bad content, and from there I have to make some adjustment on my content instead. So that is my first KPI on that. The second KPI rather, it's from the feedback that it's from my view. So regardless of 10 view, hundreds or thousands or millions, I would appreciate more on the feedback itself. So if I get like 8 out of good views from 10 views, I put up as a really excellent marks instead. So for the 100 millions or 10 million kind of a views, if you have like 100 feedback that is good comment, I will still say it's rather worse as compared to like more views. So that is my kind of a point of view instead if I want to be an influencer, and that is the kind of content I want to create.
Yeah. I'll say this makes us all sound like amazing people.
No, for sure.
People want to give, but I just want to remind that out there are still people who will try to use this to their advantage and maybe use it in a way that might not benefit the greater society.
Next questions will be right. Yes, they are bad they are good and bad influencers, right? But how are we going to differentiate, especially for a newbie that comes on board, right? No, because we will only look at the views. This view 10 million confirm he's a good one.
Yes.
But actually the thing that he teaches is just like BS.
Yes.
Right? This guy 100 views, talk about business model, business market, very sian one.
Yes.
Confirm I look at that 10 millions one.
Yes.
Right, so how are we going to differentiate, or what sort of because this will be our last questions, right?
Yep.
So I hope that you guys can give like I wouldn't say advice, but a pointer for them, to what to look at in terms of the criteria or the quality of this so-called finfluencers.
Yep.
Right, should we start with Ken first?
Okay, my advisors not to make immediate decisions after you have come out, like what people mentioned just now, the checklist to screen through which are those influencers that really help on them. I mean, really have to put in some, let's say put it the other way, we get an apps, then we use the portfolio to test what they mentioned, we tried it for different influencers, we create different portfolio and try on it, then we'll get to know and understand which is the right one that are really guiding us to the right way into this investment. And especially, what the investment we're talking about into the stock market. market. So basically, this is first steps to come out as checklist. And second steps, then we try with our own investment, not a big sum, but a small money. Try for different methodology that in guiding by the different influencer. Then only we can justify which is the right one we can carry on to use. I mean, that will be my way because I'm an analytical person. I like to analyze what is the best way, which is the best way for us to go for investment or go for business model, all these kind of things. But definitely the first steps, check and analyze. There's no immediate decisions. Yeah, that should be the way. Yeah, this is my personal point of view.
Yeah, I believe that is indeed the case where Ken has mentioned we cannot put all our eggs in one basket and on the get-go. I think impulse is something that really dangers us, which is the rush and the impulse. So I feel like it's very important what people mentioned earlier, which is critical thinking, is to really go and be aware of our current emotion, our current situation, and to look at the whole picture and to see, are we really doing what is going to put value for us, right? And then the next thing is, like Ken said, we really have to learn to diversify and to try instead of jumping right into the ocean. Yeah, like if you had a baby, you won't just straight away throw the baby in the ocean, then go learn how to swim like that, right? Confirm something happened. You would slowly teach and slowly learn along the way. So I think the most important thing is still, investing in ourselves in a way that is knowledge. Fill yourselves up with knowledge before you jump into the ocean. Because if you're not prepared, you won't be able to grab the opportunity. Like I always believe that you need preparation and there's always opportunity out there. So I always tell people, don't rush. There's no use in rushing. You'll just kill yourself. Prepare and then grab the opportunity and then you'll be able to see returns. I think that is my belief for people who are new and trying to get into the market. Arm yourself. Arm yourself before going into the battlefield. So that's...
My one's easy. Just take everything with a pinch of salt. Just don't believe on anything, and you can listen, you can just hear what others want to say, but you just don't have to believe in it. Not me, not Chen Jian, not whoever it is, even not well. The thing is, you have to have your own view. It's in the sense that in this current era, it's getting even worse and worse for this problem. People believe in anything that the social media tell us or maybe the AI tell us. So regardless of anything, not even the AI as well, whatever results or outcomes they come out or whatever conclusion they come out, just take it with a pinch of salt. So you have to do your own homework. You have to do your own thinking work. Spend some time, just sit down and then think through it. Then only you make your own decisions. So the reason of it, it's pretty simple, I would say. In the market, I've seen so much of example. It's not just in the investment world as well. It's probably from all kind of, family disputes, marriage problems, celebrities having some issue with drugs or whatsoever. Take everything with a pinch of salt. Don't care anything about it. And with that, you should process well in the future.
So to sum things up, there is only one guarantee in investment, right? Which is there's no guarantee. All right. So what do you guys think about Finfluencers in Malaysia? Let us know on the comment box. Right. So pretty much that's it for this episode. Right. So thank you so much for your time, and we'll see you on the next episode. Bye bye.